So, how's your meditation been, Cheryl?
It's been good. Yesterday was Wednesday. I made a point of making time to meditate, so I'm hoping that that
Very good.
continues.
You're filling in the hole.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's yeah. I don't think I have anything unusual or special to report. It's been going.
Good. How about you, Carol?
Oh, I've been falling off the wagon a little bit. We
Okay.
haven't meditated more than a couple times this week, I think. Too
Okay.
busy with my busy social life.
Mm.
That's right. Now, I continue, I'm having a period for the last few weeks. I've been watching more than usual just how my mind, with its, I guess you would call them internal fantasies, so rises up and just takes over my experience for a while. And then after a while, I can catch it almost like a dream, and I'm waking up from the dream. It's kind of funny. And, I've been watching my mind for a long time, but I really didn't know it did this so much as I'm seeing now.
Mhm.
So I have no idea what that means, but it's different. Anyway, and then shall we get started? Let me prepare some of my stuff that I didn't have ready for us. Okay. Okay. So we're going to start with our usual bit of mindfulness. Mindfulness is present moment awareness, paying attention on purpose in the present moment, non judgmentally. Feel your breath in and out, fully receive whatever is experienced, then let it go.
Hello.
Hello, Doug.
Hi.
We're almost through with our first meditation.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Okay. So today I'm going to talk more about Buddhist basics of mindfulness from the Satipatthana Sutra. And I'm going to talk this time about the second foundation, which is mindfulness of feeling. Really, mindfulness of feeling tone. And I'll explain what that is as we go along. Here are Buddha's words from the Satipatthana Sutra describing mindfulness practice and feeling. He remains established in the observation of the feelings in the feelings, diligent with clear understanding, mindful, having abandoned every craving and every distaste for this life. Now, Buddha is taking a more internal view of mindfulness. He started with mindfulness of the body, like the breath watching that we've been doing. Now he moves to feelings, but he's actually approaching these in a specific way that's uh, different than how we usually look at feelings. And he's looking at the sense of attraction, aversion, or neutrality. Uh, and it is with these feelings that our internal conditioning actually starts to come into play. And is focused on what's called a Vedana, or feeling tone. And this is the initial reaction to the mind when it encounters any sense object. When your mind is first coming into contact with anything, it reacts before you can even think. And it reacts with attraction, aversion, or disinterest. And this reaction is the start of your internal conditioning. After this initial reaction, all your ideas and memories are brought into play, and then the force of habit, of conditioned response come into play. When this starts, it's like a train on the tracks. Once you switch to the destination track, you can't change direction. You can't change how it's going to play out. That's the way it is with this conditioning. But, and here is the point to Buddha's exposition, if you notice this initial reaction, you can change from the habitual response and respond in a way that you think and feel now instead of based on the past and your habits. This is the way to freedom and authentic living. All you have to do is just learn to watch this and learn how to take more active control of the process. And this is mindfulness of feeling tone. Here's some more of Buddha's instruction. Whenever the practitioner has a pleasant feeling, she is aware. I'm experiencing a pleasant feeling. The practitioner practices like this for all the feelings, whether they are pleasant, painful, or neutral, observing when they belong to the body and when they belong to the mind. So notice that Buddha extends this mindfulness of feeling tone to the mind. It's the same thing as with sense objects. When a new thought rises, you have this same reaction of attraction or repulsion to the thought. And so when you start watching this within yourself, you might think, how do I ever get anything done living within this sea of constant reaction? I'm feeling this and that, and it just makes me go crazy. Maybe that's why we have the habits, to simplify this and help us deal with this. The habits, though, get in the way of our living now, experiencing now, and living an authentic life. Mindfulness helps us to see and then break through these habits. So I think this mindfulness of feeling tone is actually a big deal because it's one of the ways that you can start to notice and then break up these long-standing patterns that you have had and built up over your lifetime. And there are actually not a lot of ways to break these habits. Now we have a video, and this will be mindfulness of feeling tone.
Hello, everyone. Today I'd like to share with you a practice that has truly become one of my favorites over the last year, mindfulness of feeling tone. Rooted in the Buddhist tradition, I use it for both myself and with my clients. It can be a tremendous meditation practice to begin this journey into embodiment and awareness, especially if you're asked questions from therapists or teachers like, what are you feeling now? Or what are you noticing in your body now? And you just don't really know. Maybe you've never been taught how to stop and inquire. Maybe you don't have a vocabulary around your feelings. Or maybe you're just so cut off from what's been going on in your body and it's happened for such a long time. So while on the surface, this practice can feel very elementary, like many of these mindfulness practices, I encourage you to embrace it as a start. So, a couple different ways to do this, and I'm going to share with you a few of the modifications that I'm likely to use in clinical practice. To just take a breath in, and become aware of what you're experiencing right now in this moment. And would you describe this experience as pleasant, unpleasant, or neutral? Just giving you 3 options there: pleasant, unpleasant, or neutral. A lot of times people aren't familiar with that concept of neutrality. A way to think of it is it's just neither good or bad. It is. If I said pleasant or unpleasant and your thought was neither, good guess, it's probably neutral. So with that explanation, one more time, go ahead and check in. Pleasant, unpleasant, or neutral. And take a moment. So that most basic part of the practice is something I could encourage you to do several times throughout your day, particularly if you're feeling overwhelmed or cut off. Just take that breath and notice, is this pleasant? Is this unpleasant? Or is this neutral? And if you do this enough days in a row, enough hours in a row, you'll begin to start becoming more mindful about what's going on in your body processes and in your emotional processes. So for this next variation, we'll go a little more directly into these 3 concepts of pleasant, unpleasant, or neutral. And of course, I want you to honor your prompting, especially when we explore unpleasant. It doesn't have to be the big major trauma of your life. As I cue you into noticing something unpleasant, I would encourage you, especially if you're doing this without the guidance of a therapist or a teacher, to choose something that you would consider mildly annoying, maybe a stressor you've dealt with today. But this is not about doing deep, heavy digging, at least in this preliminary meditation. So to begin, you may close your eyes or leave them open. You always have a choice. Whatever's going to help you become more aware while still feeling safe enough to engage in the meditation. So I'd like you to begin by bringing something into your awareness that seems that you would describe as pleasant. Try not to use people. A pet may be nice, a place, a flower, a song, a verse from any scripture or book you might like, your favorite color. So bring that pleasant association into your awareness. And really let yourself describe it. So what does it look like? Are there any other sensory details? And now, as you hold in your awareness that association you describe as pleasant, notice what's happening in the body. Maybe you've never stopped to do this before. So what that can mean is, are you aware of one particular place in your body as you hold this pleasant awareness, or is it all over? Is it warm? Is it cool? Is there not much temperature to it? Is there a color or any other description you would give to this sensation? Take a moment and notice the experience of pleasant in the body. So take a breath and let that go. So now we'll shift gears and I'll have you bring into your awareness something that is unpleasant. Remember, a general stressor or annoyance will do. So as you bring that unpleasant thing into your awareness, notice it. Notice how you would describe it, if it has a visual, if it has any other sensory details. And then notice what's happening in the body. So you may already be aware, as I brought mine into my awareness, my nose kind of started curling. That's one example of something you might notice in the body. Maybe something happens in one place in your body or all over, like we did with pleasant. Is there a temperature sensation of any kind? Any other bodily experiences that goes along with your unpleasant? So take a moment. Notice unpleasant in the body, in your awareness. So now we'll shift gears one more time and work with neutral. So since you may be scratching your head and asking, well, what's neutral? I'll give you an example of my neutral. It's the color orange. I don't particularly love it. I don't dislike it. It's just a color to me. So I often use that as neutral. Some people like to use a dial tone. I've heard that given as an example. Maybe one of those emojis that's not overly smiley or overly frowny, it's just kind of a face. Those are some examples of what you can use for neutral. So now I will ask you to bring that neutral association into your awareness. Like we did with the other two, describe it. Notice if there's a visual. Notice if there are any other sensory details. And then notice the presence of neutrality or neutral in the body. Is it one place? Is it something you're aware of all throughout your body? And there may not be much that goes along with neutral, and that's okay. Noticing that is part of building awareness. So take a moment and be with neutral. And then if you're ready, let your eyes open if they're closed. So if this meditation didn't feel like it had much of an impact the first time, keep trying it. Like many meditation practices, it's the repetition that can help to build the discipline.
Uh, Before we do our final meditation, or as the start of it, we're going to do a quick exercise. And I'm going to say some words. And notice for each word, your initial response, the immediate feeling tone, whether you're attracted or want to avoid it or don't care. Notice any body sensations or thoughts or images that arise and how they feel. Here, let me just start the list. Dog, scorpion, bird, flower, bumblebee, sunset, friend, dog poop, mother, water, storm, lake, family, breakfast, table, bell, song, alarm clock. And did you notice yourself feeling differently with each word? That's an example of how this feeling tone goes. Each time there is a new thought or idea or image, there is this feeling that accompanies it. Now we will have our quiet mindfulness. Feel your breath in and out. Watch the mirror like awareness, just reflecting what is there. If a thought comes, just notice it and return to this mirror like awareness, just reflecting. Be the mirror. You're not the reflection or anything in it. Just be the mirror. All right. Let us close with a short chant. Om Shanti 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 Om. Peace, peace, peace. You know, we do have the videos are being watched by usually about 15 people or so. So,
Amazing.
you know, somehow this has usefulness to other people besides us.
Well, I can see how it would.
Well, anyway,
Mm.
I'm surprised because there's so much meditation stuff out there, and you know, I don't spend a lot of time on high production values given the squeaky chair. And again, I thought this particular one on feeling and feeling tone is something that could be useful to you guys. It has been useful to me, and it helps start to be able to get visibility within this other stuff that's going on. And in some way, this other stuff has been the things that has driven me crazy more than the thoughts going by. All the feelings going by are more crazy making for me.
Hmm.
Mhm.
Yes, it was an interesting exercise of the pleasant, unpleasant, and neutral.
Uh-huh.
Um, because when I thought of those things, then I did notice my body reacting,
Yes. Yeah.
feeling different. Yeah.
It's amazing, you know, how we're wired. And again, this is not a kind of thing that we usually do. And this is a kind of way that lets you start observing it. And, you know, you can't affect any change in your life until you start to notice it.
Mhm.
So that's what we're up
Yeah.
to. Okay. Well, very
Okay.
good. And the video will be better than it was live. All right. And namaste. We'll see you next week.
Namaste.
Okay, thank
Namaste.
you.
Okay, thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye bye.
Bye.